In this video right here, I'm going to give you the absolute best wear and tear sliders for College Football 27. Welcome to the Sim Gaming Network, where it's all sim all the time, and I am proud to present to you these wear and tear sliders that have been tested through multiple full seasons, and I have the data to back up what you will get with these wear and tear sliders. Before I go ahead and dive into all of that, I'm going to take a quick moment to say thank you for checking out this video, and if you are new to the channel, please subscribe, as I'm trying to hit my next goal of 30,000, and of course, every new person who clicks subscribe helps me get to that goal. Also, if you like this video, please like the video, man. It'll tell YouTube to push this to other people, thus helping my channel grow. Alright, so now we got that out of the way, we're going to talk about the wear and tear. I'm going to do a couple things in this video just so you kind of understand how this is breaking down. First I'm going to do is I'm going to go over end of season stats with you guys so you guys can see what to expect. I'm going to go over wear and tear sub strategy recommendations, and then I'm going to go ahead and go over all of the sliders as well, just so you understand what's happening in this video. So let's get right into it here. And as you can see, I have the Oregon State Dynasty that I've been testing on, and this is the most recent test that I did. 12 games under wraps. Now before I go ahead and show you guys the season stats, I do want to let you know that for ease of testing, I did auto practice the practice stuff. I didn't go in and set different practice strategies for players. I felt that making it auto would be the best and easiest fair way to test this. That way I didn't do a specific strategy that someone else would then have to follow to get my results. So depending on how you do your practice reps, these could of course vary some. So I just want to throw that out there. And let's go ahead and dive into the depth chart. So you guys can see we're going to go through kind of the main positions here, and we're going to scroll on the bottom right of the screen. Actually, let me go ahead and move my webcam so you guys can actually see what's going on down here. So if we go down to the bottom right, you can see full season, the quarterback has just over 50%. I think for a dual threat, that is perfect. When you look at how many carries he had, rush attempts 112, he's taken hits from sacks. I think that's a really good number for a quarterback, and I'm very content with that number. Moving on to halfbacks. So just under 50% for our starting running back. Now, I do want to point out that he had 186 touches between the rush attempts and the catches, and honestly the splits weren't that great, because you look at the next guy, he had over 100 less touches, and look at the difference in the wear and tear. So there wasn't very good balance by myself on the rotations, because you probably shouldn't have 100 less touches than number one guy. And then when you look at this guy who had 18 touches, look at his wear and tear. Down here, AJ Newberry got a lot more touches. You know, he had what is that, 69 touches right there, and you can see his wear and tear is just under the quarter mark. So I think it all makes a lot of sense. Cornell Hatcher probably should have had a little bit more carries dished out to McMillan, Newberry, and Reichel potentially, but either way, when you look at the total touches and where he's sitting, it makes complete sense to me, and I'm very happy with that. Fullback doesn't really not much there. Let's go talk about wide receivers. So this was my target for wide receivers was to get them around the quarter mark, right? Because they're going to get catches, and then they're just subject to normal tackles. They're not going to get the same hits as running back, so they shouldn't have the same wear and tear. I felt like right around the quarter mark, depending on, of course, receptions and carries and end arounds and all that stuff, is going to be perfect. And that's kind of where we're sitting with Hampton. He's right at that quarter mark, and he had 25 catches, but he also had a lot of incorporations in running the ball, returns, all sorts of stuff there. Same for Noland right here, right at the quarter mark, and you can see he had way more catches. He didn't have the same amount of jet sweeps, touch passes would count for receptions, but jet sweeps and return contact and things like that. Going down to Eddie Freyoff, he had 40 catches, and you can look, his wear and tear is just over that quarter mark. So as you go through, the numbers look really good to me as far as wide receivers. We're right where we want to be as far as hovering around that quarter mark, depending on touches, hits, things like that. Tight end was a trickier one, but we got it right there. They're in between, right? They block and they receive, but the goals are on the same. I want to be around that quarter mark for tight ends, and we're sitting right there. He's slightly below, but he did get injured a little bit during the year, had some injuries, so I don't know if that's why he's a little bit lower, but he did have some catches, and of course he had the blocks and things like that. But overall, good numbers there. Offensive line the target was around a quarter mark used. And you're going to see here, we are sitting around a quarter mark used. Some guys are a little bit more than others, and there's really no stats that we can associate with this other than games played, downs played, right? So he had 780 downs played, 66 pancakes. I guess if we go back up to the left tackle, he had less downs played, less pancakes, and his wear and tear is slightly higher. I guess if we look at that. Moving on to the center. Again, they're all kind of right in that middle target area between the halfway point and the quarter mark. And he played a ton of downs, right? 891. And that's where we're sitting there. Left guard, he played 780 downs, 37 pancakes, but his wear and tear is just a little bit higher. And I did run off the left side a lot more frequently because those players were rated higher. So that might be why. But overall, these numbers for offensive linemen look really, really solid. The right tackle, 831 downs played, 34 pancakes, and he's right there at a quarter mark. And that was the goal, getting even wear and tear on the defensive, just the line play in general, the offensive line and defensive line. Looking through this edge rusher right here on one side is halfway between the halfway and the quarter mark, and we have sacks, tackles, assists, things like that. And if we go over to the other side, he didn't have the same numbers at all, and his wear and tear is significantly higher. He wasn't having the same amount of contact, so that's where his wear and tear is at. When we go to the defensive tackles, they did have a lot more contact going on, and you can see with the wear and tear, they're sitting right in that halfway point between halfway and the quarter mark. And our secondary defensive tackle had a little less contact there, and he's a little bit higher. So overall, I'm very, very happy with the offensive line and the defensive line wear and tear. Linebackers, it was the same goal. Guys, most of the positions, the goal was to be around a quarter mark, except for the positions that take a ton of contact, which is running back, and then depending on the quarterback archetype, the quarterback too, between sacks and scrambles, they could take a lot more contact too. But running backs are the one that I really wanted to have hit a little bit harder. Everyone else the goal was to be around a quarter mark for the season, with a potential to be a little bit less than that. Other positions or players at the position could be a little bit higher, but averaging out to that range. And we're going to see there with the linebacker, that's where we're at there, quarter mark. Middle linebackers typically involved in more plays, and you can see that their wear and tear is a little bit lower because of their involvement in more plays on the field. Looking at the Will, not a lot of involvement there, and he's actually above a quarter. And so that is averaging out exactly kind of where we wanted to when you look at the Will versus the Sam, and how that played out. And we get the corners, man. This one was a little bit trickier. When I first had it, they were taking a ton of wear and tear. Had to make a couple adjustments and got it dialed in of hitting that target goal around a quarter, between a quarter and a half. And as you can see, we are right there. It's all averaging out to between a quarter and a half. Some a little bit higher, some a little bit lower, sitting really, really good there. Free safety, perfect. Right around that quarter mark. Couldn't be more pleased with how these are turning out for a full 12-game season. And of course, if you make a bowl game or make the college football playoffs, then of course you'd have more games that would impact. But we're going to base this off of 12 because that's all any team is guaranteed. Next, I do want to talk about wear and tear sub strategy. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say this is user preference. However, this is just what I'm going to recommend as it's what I tested on. I had halfback and wide receiver on keep fresh. I had tight end and offensive line on normal. Defensive tackle, defensive end, absolutely should be on keep fresh. Get them on nice little rotation there. I have linebacker, corners, and safeties all at normal. But it's definitely important, I think, for the ones that are keep fresh to keep them on keep fresh. And quarterback is grinded out, and it comes default like that, and I don't see a reason to change that. I think this is where it should be. You should be smart with your quarterback. But Mostly we're just adjusting keep fresh. We're not putting in any custom wear and tear. I know that's an option. You can go ahead and put in a custom one. I'm just doing the built-in keep fresh, but just a recommendation of what I played every single game on, so you guys can kind of track what I did. Now, what you're here for, man, the actual wear and tear. I just had to cover those things for you guys real quick, give you the details, give you the data, give you all the information on what I did, and here we go. Now we're going to go in to get you guys the absolute best wear and tear settings in my opinion, and here they are. Pause the screen, you know, whatever you want to do. I'm not going to let this run for a long time. There's not much to say. You guys can just read and copy it down. And let's go ahead and down here and get the week-to-week recovery and the in-game healing reserve pool. All right, so that is the wear and tear sliders, guys. You have the data. This was tested multiple seasons, couple tweaks. Things are holding up very, very well. You know the sub strategy. Go implement these into your dynasty and have a good time. Also, I'd like to let you know that if you implement these into a dynasty halfway through the season, you're really not going to see much because you're trying to offset wear and tear that was on something else differently. I would recommend putting these in at a start of a season, because if you were having your wear and tear cranked up or something like that, putting these in halfway through isn't going to undo the damage that was already done. So just keep that in mind, that in order to truly understand how these are going to work for you in your dynasty, it's best to put these in at the very start of a season to let them do their thing and work their magic. Otherwise, guys, that is it for this video. Thank you for checking it out, and hopefully we'll see you in the next one, y'all. Peace.